In the world of lost ancient history, there are several sites around the world with megalithic stonework, like multiple sites in Egypt, Baalbek in Lebanon, Ollantaytambo and Sacsayhuaman in Peru. The list goes on. Just when these sites were constructed is up for debate, and they are all clearly man-made. But what about the sites that aren't so clearly human creations? Are they the products of unique natural processes? There are several places that can go either way. Each location has both stalwart supporters and critics, and you're not going to change their mind either way. But what do you think? Many of these sites people will shake their heads at and say, "Come on, that can't be real." But what if they are? Often the experts have been proven wrong before and ended up with egg on their face. So in this video, I'm going to present a series of sites that may make the first-time observer pause for a bit. Even if they're all completely natural, they're at least remarkable. So I'm interested in your opinion. What's just Mother Nature, and what's a relic from the ancient past? Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to What's Old is New Again. I'm going to start this series out with one site where actual conclusive science was done and we know what the story is. Located in the town of Rockwall, Texas, is a mysterious underground rock wall. People have been debating if it was natural or not for a long time. In Season 2, Episode 3 of America Unearthed, forensic geologist Scott Walter and his team conducted a study and determined what they had. I was very glad to see this instead of experts swooping in, taking a quick glance, and flying off again after rendering their decision. But despite the study, there are those who still refute the results. If you want to know what happened and what they determined this to be, please watch the episode. Don't just Google it and see. The Yonaguni Monument, often referred to as the Japanese Atlantis, this location is 85 feet under the ocean off the island of Yonaguni, the westernmost of the Japanese islands. It is actually closer to Taiwan than the main Japanese islands that everyone thinks of. Discovered by divers in 1986, this site is noteworthy for the unique structure and step-like appearance of the sandstone, making it appear man-made at first glance. If that were the case, due to its depth, it would have been submerged for millennia, pushing the date for its construction back to the Ice Age. Credentialed academic professionals conclude this is a natural feature. I could just cut and paste that statement into just about everything featured in this video. One thing that always struck me about this is its haphazardness. While yes, it looks like steps, while looking at the big picture, everything looks so random, without any plan or reason. Then I heard someone suggest it was a quarry, and this resonated with me. So if this was created by human intervention and not natural, that is what I believe it would be, a quarry. Close-up investigations looking for tool marks could help to prove or refute this. Until then, believers will believe and disbelievers will not. The Bimini Road. Located just off the coast of the island of North Bimini in the Bahamas, in just 20 feet of water, is an intriguing underwater rock formation called the Bimini Road. Discovered by divers in September of 1968, this is a roughly half-mile-long feature composed of sedimentary beach rock, which is native to the Bahamas. Its striking resemblance to a paved walkway has made it a popular destination for divers and led to numerous theories that it is a man-made structure. Graham Hancock, who has dived the site multiple times, says it's impossible to believe that it is entirely the work of nature. As you might expect, being underwater and in the Atlantic, Bimini Road can't help but being linked to the myth of Atlantis. Personally, I prefer the reshot theory of Atlantis if it's actually a real place, but this location was clearly above sea level during the Ice Age. But there must be countless Atlantic areas of previous habitation that are now submerged, and people will go running around crying Atlantis every time they see two blocks together underwater. Let's settle down and get off the Atlantis kick. My main question here is it man-made or is it natural? It should come as no surprise that geologists and archaeologists overwhelmingly agree that the seemingly organized structure is the result of natural processes. The uniform block-like appearance is believed to have been created when a larger sheet of beach rock fractured along natural joints and was further rounded and smoothed by the tidal action and erosion. Furthermore, radiocarbon dating of the beach rock places its formation at around only 2,800 years ago, which is probably too young to be when it was above sea level. But I also find references online to the cement holding them together. I initially thought, when in the geological world has nature made cement to hold anything together? But upon further research, I believe this refers to the surface around the center of the blocks, like the crust on a loaf of bread. While I'm leaning towards the natural theory on this one, as far as I'm concerned, more studies should be conducted before a decision can be made conclusively. The Sage Wall sits on the private property of the Sage Mountain Center, discovered by landowners Chris and Linda in 1996. It had been covered up by tons of natural debris when discovered, but clearing the deadfall revealed something truly remarkable. Brought to the public's attention primarily by Michael Collins of the Wandering Wolf channel, it has been mentioned by Joe Rogan and featured by many YouTubers from Desert Drifter, may he rest in peace, to Jimmy Corsetti's Bright Insight. The visible structure is about 275 feet long and up to 24 feet in height, but could be taller as we don't know how deep it goes. The wall is situated within a 75-million-year-old boulder batholith, an extensive mass of igneous rock where large granite outcroppings are common. To me, one of the strongest pieces of evidence that this site could have human origins is the fact that it is along a solstitial alignment, pointing to the winter solstice sunrise and the summer solstice sunset. The wall is also inordinately straight for a natural feature. Another strong indicator of likely man-made construction is the presence of numerous nubs, such as those found on megalithic constructions around the world. What were these for? No one knows. This is one of the more accessible locations, and you can reach out to the Sage Mountain Center to arrange a visit. When I first looked at the website, walking to the wall would set you back $75. It has since increased to $100 when I last looked. With the nubs and astronomical alignments, I think this is a strong contender for being man-made. Unlike some of the other locations, the Kaimanawa Wall is literally right off the road near Lake Taupo in New Zealand's central North Island. So if you're in the area, you can drive right up to it. No need to get your machete out and hack through miles of underbrush. Composed of ignimbrite, a volcanic rock local to the area, scientific consensus among archaeologists and geologists firmly identifies the Kaimanawa Wall as a natural geological formation. Independent researchers, however, digging down in front of the wall, found it bottoms out against some type of platform down below, which makes them wonder. They also point to the unnaturally flat surface of the wall itself, both fueling speculation of some degree of human involvement. To me, there would be little harm in performing a limited excavation to explore more. However, the Department of Conservation has placed a moratorium on the site, making any further excavation or disturbance illegal to protect the natural feature and respect its significance. Actions like this always raise a red flag to me. Anytime some agency takes steps to prevent research, it makes me wonder what it is they have to hide. But that could just be the conspiracy theorist in me raising its ugly head. So while the site seems natural, they won't let anyone actually prove it. Another possible ancient wall is Gornaya Sharia. When I say this alleged megalithic wall is buried deep in the Siberian wilderness, you have no idea. I mean, this place is remote. Like the two other walls before this structure looks natural at first glance. Only upon closer inspection does some weirdness become apparent, by which the region has gained attention. More specifically, these are a series of massive rock formations on the ridge crest of Mont Quilum. These formations consist of enormous rectangular granite blocks that some independent researchers theorize may be the remnants of an ancient prehistoric man-made wall, with some blocks weighing thousands of tons. Proponents of this theory suggest the stones exhibit symmetrical cuts, flat surfaces, and ridge angles that defy the conventional historical explanations of ancient technology. Predictably, the mainstream scientific consensus attributes the colossal rock formations to entirely natural geological processes and are the result of intense weathering. As the location is so remote, there aren't many images of it, and many more and more studies would need to be gathered and scrutinized for me to make any kind of opinion one way or the other. A 45-minute drive northwest of Sarajevo will take you to the town of Visoko, home of the Bosnian pyramids. This refers to a cluster of 5 pyramid-shaped hills which have been the center of a major controversy since 2005. The primary champion of the claim is Bosnian-American Dr. Samir Asmanagic, who believes these are man-made structures that date back thousands of years. The largest of these has been dubbed the Pyramid of the Sun. Also located in the area is a tunnel complex called Ravne, which is 2.5 kilometers from the Sun Pyramid, part of an extensive underground tunnel network. Asmanagic and his supporters point to the tunnels, the pyramid's geometrically regular 4-sided shape, and the discovery of cement-like blocks on the side of the hill as proof of an ancient monumental construction project that would fundamentally rewrite human history. Consensus from the scientific community, however, including professional archaeologists, geologists, and historians, is that the Bosnian pyramids are entirely natural. Many scholars go so far as to condemn the project as a cruel hoax and argue that there is no archaeological evidence. Regardless of the scientific refutation, the Bosnian pyramids have become a significant cultural and economic boon, attracting tens of thousands of local and international tourists, all eager to visit the so-called pyramids and tunnels. This tourism boom has garnered support from local political and economic factions who see the discovery as a source of national pride and a way to boost the economy. While as of yet there is little rock-solid evidence that these are actual pyramids, I see no harm in digging deeper until it can absolutely be proven one way or the other. The Antarctic Pyramid. Emerging from beneath the snows of frozen Antarctica is a mountain that looks suspiciously like a pyramid. Each side along its square base is approximately 2 kilometers in length. Compare that to the Great Pyramid in Egypt, which is 230 meters a side, making each side of the Antarctic Pyramid 8.7 times as long as the side of the Great Pyramid. But hold on to your hats, because the Antarctic Pyramid is a whopping 324 times the size of the Great Pyramid in volume. And of course, many people would dismiss this out of hand, saying that there's no way this is a real pyramid. But the only real information we have on the Antarctic Pyramid is a few grainy images. The only way to prove this isn't the pyramid from Alien vs. Predator is to go there. But before you pack your bags and your mucklucks, you may wish to check out the Antarctic Treaty webpage and ensure it's not one of those areas you're not allowed to go to because, you know, they're ecologically sensitive zones. Everyone has heard of the Egyptian Sphinx, but about 2 hours south of Brasov, Romania, in Bucce National Park, lies the Romanian Sphinx, a rock structure reputed to be like its Egyptian cousin, just much older and more worn by the elements. This site draws thousands of visitors annually, but mostly on November 28th, when legend suggests the sun's rays form an energetic pyramid around the rock. But if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, and I mean seriously down it, check out the Y-Files episode on Who Are We? Our Ancestors Left Us a Clue. Yes, we're talking aliens here. But it's just a head and no body. Not to mention the other side is so unremarkable. Where would the paws be? How about a tail? I mean, I wouldn't mind visiting the site if I were in the area. It would be pretty cool. But to me, this is just an interesting natural rock formation molded by the elements and millennia of erosion. But what do you think? Patterns in the sandstone at Muley Point, Utah, just northwest of Gooseneck State Park, are another thing that make you pause for a second when you look and see it. At first glance, this could look like an abandoned stone quarry from long ago, but exposure to the elements, thermal cycling from hot to cold, expansion from freezing water are all natural cycles that will eventually get the bedrock to crack. People have pointed out that this is a natural process called tensional fracturing, where the rock layer, when it is pulled apart, creates a grid-like pattern. And if you look around at the nearby cliffs in the area, you can see the patterns there as well, just not as pronounced. Still, the neatness and precision of the blocks is amazing and truly raises an eyebrow. But is it natural or man-made by some lost culture? After seeing this for the first time months ago, I am pretty much convinced this is natural. Primarily, looking around via Google Earth, that pattern slowly fades as you get away from the more pronounced features. If it were man-made, I would expect the blocks to end more abruptly. But look around and dig deeper for yourself if you like. Either way, what a remarkable sight. Those are some examples of what could be megalithic construction from societies lost to the ages, or just cool-looking natural things. Which ones do you suspect are real or not? Most I think are natural, but some I'm not so sure about. Personally, I never think it's a good idea to make a snap decision, and I encourage you not to come to any conclusions based solely on what you've just seen here. There is so much more about there to read, watch, and learn about each of these sites you've seen. So if you care to, dig in, ponder them for a while, weighing the pros and cons, and as Jimmy Corsetti always says, decide for yourself. But most importantly, maintain an open mind to the possibility that you could be wrong. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.